President Trump on Sunday confirming an offer to deploy U.S. troops to assist Mexico in fighting drug cartels on Mexican soil.
It's true. They are horrible people that have been killing people left and right, they've made a fortune on selling drugs and destroying our people. We lost 300,000 people last year to fentanyl and drugs. They're bad news. Yeah, that's true. If Mexico wanted help with the cartels, we would be honored to go in and do it. I told her that. I would be honored to go in and do it. So if she said that I offered to do that, she's 100% right.
Are you disappointed that she denied that request, that she doesn't want to?
Well, she's so afraid of the cartel, she can't walk. So, that's the reason. And I think she's a lovely woman. But the president of Mexico is a lovely woman. But she is so afraid of the cartels that she can't even think straight.
According to the Wall Street Journal, President Trump made the offer on a phone call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on April 16th. President Sheinbaum rejecting the offer as a matter of national sovereignty. On Saturday, the Mexican president responding to the report at a press conference.
In one of the calls, U.S. President Donald Trump said it was important for the U.S. Army to enter Mexico to help us in the fight against drug trafficking. And you know what I told him? No, President Trump. The territory is sacrosanct. Sovereignty is sacrosanct. Sovereignty is not for sale. We can work together, but you can do it in your territory. We can do it in ours. We can share information, but we will never accept the presence of the U.S. Army in our territory.
In February, President Trump invoking emergency powers to implement additional tariffs on Mexico until its government stepped up in the war against fentanyl and illegal immigration. The New York Times' The Daily podcast reporting in early March, the tariffs had an immediate impact on cartel fentanyl production.
Even though I was really skeptical, I wanted to go back into a lab to see whether all of these threats had led to real changes.
What did you find?
It was really remarkable. The dynamics, it seemed, had completely changed from the last time we were there. But when we started talking to our cartel contacts, they told us there was basically no production of fentanyl happening in the city. It had totally plummeted.
In the months since, the Mexican government increasing cooperation with the Trump administration. President Sheinbaum deploying 10,000 Mexican National Guard troops to the nearly 2,000-mile U.S.-Mexico border, troops patrolling the area for signs of traffickers and smugglers. In February, NBC reporting one patrol discovering, quote, a large, sophisticated tunnel just feet from El Paso, Texas. It measured 4 by 6 feet across with a complete lighting and ventilation system. Also in February, the Mexican government handing over 29 imprisoned drug bosses, wanted in the U.S. on charges relating to racketeering, drug trafficking, murder, illegal use of firearms, money laundering, and more. Mexican officials also stepping up efforts within their own country to crack down on cartels. The Associated Press reporting in April, Mexico's security chief quietly forming an elite force to take on the cartels. Quote, the unit began to form shortly after Sheinbaum took office, and it hopes to have 800 members by the end of the year, according to one federal official. For now, Mexico drawing a firm line against U.S. pressure, but the Trump administration is making one thing clear. The U.S. is ready to act. On Sunday, President Trump shaking up the news cycle with a pair of surprise announcements: the potential reopening of Alcatraz prison and a 100% tariff on foreign films. President Trump posting to Truth Social, quote, rebuild and open Alcatraz. Today, I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges that are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came into our country illegally. The Trump administration growing increasingly frustrated with legal roadblocks stalling its mass deportation agenda. Moves President Trump argues illegally interfere with his authority to enforce immigration law. President Trump telling reporters on the White House lawn the idea to reopen Alcatraz was inspired by the many legal challenges.
Where did you get the idea for reopening Alcatraz?
Just an idea I've had, and I guess because the judges, so many of these radicalized judges, they want to have trials for every single, think of it, every single person that's in our country illegally, that came in illegally, That would mean millions of trials, and it's just so ridiculous what's happening. It's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order. You know, it's got quite a history, frankly. So I think we're going to do that, and we're looking at it right now.
Alcatraz Island was converted from a military facility to a federal prison back in 1934. In that time, it housed some of America's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone and James Whitey Bulger. The rocky island, located just over a mile from the San Francisco shore, considered inescapable due to the freezing water and deadly currents. Dozens attempted escape, though only 3 men evaded recapture. They were never found, and it's unknown if they survived the swim from the infamous island or drowned. Ultimately, the prison was shut down in 1963 due to increasing operating costs and the need for repairs. Even some non-Trump hating legal experts had questions about the practicality of Alcatraz. Here's Greg Jarrett on Fox.
It's a provocative idea, Brian, which may be why Trump is proposing it. So the sound you hear are all the liberal heads exploding at the same time. It is, however, federal property, so this can be done, but it'd have to be rebuilt almost entirely. It's so outdated and crumbling. And here's the important part. It has landmark status. So there would be an avalanche of lawsuits that would probably tie it up for years.
In a second surprise Sunday announcement, President Trump writing on Truth Social, quote, "The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again." The president elaborating Sunday on the White House lawn.
Other nations have been stealing the movies, the movie-making capabilities from the United States. I've done some very strong research over the last week, and we're making very few movies now. Hollywood is being destroyed. Now, you have an incompetent, grossly incompetent governor that allowed that to happen. So I'm not just blaming other nations, but other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry. And I'm saying, if they're not willing to make a movie inside the United States, then we should have a tariff on movies that come in. And not only that, governments are actually giving big money. I mean, they're supporting them financially. So that's sort of a threat to our country in a sense. And it's been a very popular thing. I can tell you one thing, movie makers love it.
Democrat Governor of California Gavin Newsom facing growing criticism from within the entertainment industry for not only failing to incentivize movie making in Hollywood, but for making it entirely cost prohibitive. Critics say the governor is failing to keep Hollywood competitive with other countries. The dissatisfaction recently aired on a podcast hosted by actor Rob Lowe, featuring Severance star Adam Scott.
It's cheaper to bring 100 American people to Ireland than to walk across the lot. Right. Fox. Right. Past the sound stages and do it there.
Crazy. Do you think if we shot Parks right now, we would be in Budapest?
100% we would be. We'd be in Budapest. We would be.
It's so weird. There's nothing shoots in Los Angeles.
I'm not
it's
doing
just
it.
Too expensive to shoot here.
There are no tax credits. So like all those other places are offering 40%.
Yeah.
40%.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, there's other stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And then and that's not even talking about the union stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just tax economics of it all. So it's criminal what the California and LA have let happen. It's criminal. Everybody should be fired.
Exact details on how a tariff on productions will be assessed or enforced, not yet known. Coming up, President Trump weighs in on the 2027 NFL draft, the Pope meme, and on self-deportation incentives. Plus, new data out of Antarctica flips the climate change narrative. Americans tax levies and time for getting you your constant prize. Say tax now. President Trump on Monday bringing NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to the White House, signaling a new chapter in their otherwise contentious history to announce the 2027 host city for the NFL draft.
I'm pleased to reveal that the 2027 NFL draft, that's a big thing, will be held right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., on the National Mall, Every year, hundreds of young football players have their dreams come true as the NFL teams across the land. And you just saw that last week, select the best young players in America to join their ranks. Hundreds of thousands of football fans will travel all across our country to cheer them on in person.
President Trump also inviting to the podium a longtime political adversary, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who once painted Black Lives Matter in bold yellow letters on the street leading to the White House in direct protest of his presidency.
I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of the best city in the world and also the sports capital. And we are delighted to be here with the Washington Commanders, the NFL, and the president to talk about this very exciting announcement. We're just delighted to be here, and we want to thank everybody for all the hard work to get here.
The president, estimating more than 1 million football fans will turn up to the National Mall to watch the draft in person. The 2026 draft will take place in Pittsburgh. Following official remarks, the president opening the floor to questions. One reporter asking about an AI-generated image posted to the president's Truth Social account, portraying Mr. Trump as the new pope. Critics slamming the image as offensive and in poor taste. Supporters, including many Catholics, dismissed the outrage as overblown or fake, pointing instead to what they see as far more serious attacks on the faith during the Biden and Obama years. President Trump responding.
Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?" Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of, no.
Even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme. Does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on
Give me a break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
On a more serious note, President Trump weighing in on a new DHS program encouraging illegal immigrants to self-deport. First reported by Fox, the plan offers to cover travel costs and promises an additional $1,000 once the individual is confirmed to have left the country.
We're being obstructed. It's very unfair what's happening because the court system it's very unfair. We have to get them out fast. But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people. If they miss that limit, they're going to be taken out of our country, and they will never get a path to come back in. And it'll be a much tougher process.
According to DHS, the program is expected to save taxpayers up to 70% compared to the cost of traditional deportation.
There's alarming new evidence out today showing once again the dramatic impact of climate change.
Scientists warn that a large part of Antarctica is melting and cannot be stopped.
Without stronger climate action, Antarctic ice will continue to melt at an accelerating rate.
News for Greta Thunberg. A new peer-reviewed study published in partnership with one of the world's top scientific publishers finds for the first time in decades the Antarctic ice sheet gained mass. Ice sheets store 2/3 of the planet's fresh water. They act as sort of water towers, storing water as frozen ice that would otherwise be in our oceans. Earth currently has 2 ice sheets, one in Antarctica and one in Greenland. As they melt, they have contributed to rising oceans. The research is based on satellite data from 2002 to 2023, published in Science China Earth Sciences. Researchers found from 2002 to 2010, melting ice in Antarctica contributed to about 0.2 millimeters per year in global sea level rise. That rate doubled from 2011 to 2020, increasing the rise in sea levels by 0.4 millimeters per year. However, the trend flipped dramatically from 2020 to 2023. Increased snowfall in East Antarctica, which led to an accumulation of snow and ice, offsetting rising sea levels by about 0.3 millimeters per year, a relatively small increase, but a new record nonetheless. 4 major glacier basins, which had been losing the most mass, instead experienced mass gain, reversing losses they had suffered. While scientists caution it's too soon to call it a trend, the recent gains suggest Antarctica may be more resilient or more influenced by natural cycles than we've been led to believe. That'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the Megyn Kelly Show, live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.